who will best lead a race or a group of people. Ida B. Wells realized something in the late 1800s when you have people who are supposed to uphold the law, that they participated in participants in what they call mob violence. Something that transpired in the Supreme Court around 1877. And said police not only tolerated, but were participants in it. She said that she realized the mental state and the psychology of these people's system in their government. Ida B. Wells was about self-help. Some could call it self-reliance. She advocated for self-help, education, and social reform. Blacks became owners of their own destiny. In 1892, some black men opened up a grocery store beside the white store owner in Memphis, Will Stewart Calvin and Thomas Moss. The owner do not like that too much, and he complained that a few of their boys came up with shotguns and took them out, and black brothers wind up being murdered in cold blood. Thomas begged for his life to be spared, but to no avail. Ida B. Wells also came to realize that the lynching was an excuse to get rid of the Negro who were acquiring wealth, property, and thus keep the race terrorized and keep the Negro down. From a book that I have written. What is this song about? Certain segments of the society will like to have the psychological edge over you. You know, when let's say African Americans, they know this. So if you look at it in the academia world, academia, and you look at it in the you can look at it from when it comes to athletics. It's all about keeping a psychological edge, or you should know your place. Things will come up such as you don't have the mental capacity to lead. So there are innovative and creative ways in which the African Americans, with sheer determination, determined that they can do the job better, just as good, and better than any individual as a human being. Doing so with a sense of integrity. And what happens is that becomes a model. for others to follow. A model that is being for others to follow and give the African Americans some, I don't necessarily say psychological edge, but it helps them feel a certain kind of way. It's a feeling. It's all right, you know. But that which is being promoted is from the African American is entertainers and athletes. Something that is athletics, you know. It is known that the Greeks, even though they didn't deal with color, they looked at your physical features, determine where you come from, your physiology, as I say. They knew that they was competing and they needed they were competing. They needed some melanated people to be to be produced. What is this man again? Known scholars that should be highlighted, you know, such as if you are in that arena, if you're not, but on TV, Joe, Horn, Dr. Seasmore, you can go with some young folks. You can look at a guy by the name of Dr. Winkler. You can look at people, man, that are well, I guess it does not matter how you make a difference in someone's life. I don't know. There was a book by associated with Martin Delany and Frederick Douglass in The Politics of the Representative Identity. In that book, Martin Delany and Frederick Douglass had their differences. So who's going to best lead the race, who's best represent the race, and whom is going to get the support. Delany had a concern about Douglass, and because Douglass was getting support, maybe more support, and get more support, possibly become more popular, and he could become more visible, if I may use that language, and his voice becomes less muscled out. And then they become at odds with one another, fighting for support. Who's going to best represent the race? So who's the best representative of the African American? Is it the entertainer? Is it the athlete? Is it the scholar? Or is it what Dr. King says, that we should be judged by the content of our character? Character overrides reputation. Arrogance and confidence, are they so close to one another? some modern way in which it is interpreted, maybe, or one may not like to see, the one that was enslaved and denied certain positions, titles, or certain place in society, because it would give not only that person or that group the psychological aid, but that becomes the model for others to follow. And then you could look at what they call Black Wall Street, something that can be duplicated. So it's a matter of way in which that other group sees that individual as someone that is arrogant, where he is confident in his or her ability to be productive, to get the best results, to be an inspiration to others. Yes. Maybe there is a namer or a namer in ancient Egypt or Kemet that bring all the factions of the house together. The scholar, the entertainer, and the athlete. To bring them all together and create a conglomerate group. That we invest in each other. That we invest in the integrity and restoring the credibility of one's dignity and honor. And representing the best of our humanity. And not only affect the world with entertainment, not only affect the world in the entertainment field, but not in the athletic field, but affect the world when it comes to producing in the academic world, the scholars. And that becomes our politics. That becomes representative of our identity. We create a conglomerate, another name that brings the entertainers and the athletes and the scholars. The scholars create their own institutions of learning. The athletes continue to support those institutions athletically. And continue to create our own entertainment institutions, because it's about institution building. Have to be buck dancing, boot licking, and bow jangling. Storylines that represents in the literature the dignity, the integrity, and indignity, character of the African American. influenced by anything that is considered to be immoral. That which is unethical. All African Americans are not unethical. They are not immoral. That we have dignity. We have honor. We have respect. But let us be mindful in doing this. That is a strategy. It's a tactic. Be careful. He or she who imitates a people become worse than them.